is overtired with the third installment of I'm at my parents' house, so I have to be quiet ASMR, where today I am going to be talking about the fact that some people are confused about the current nature of our justice system and are a little bit bamboozled by the fact that the president and all of his supporters seem to be completely ignoring the law. So, yeah. Like this video title, details or shows or whatever. Yeah, law isn't real, by the way. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people have fallen into like a comfortable like ignorance where they believe that the law is like I don't know, that the law is like supernatural in some way or is actively there to like protect people. I mean, if you have like even a passing understanding of history, you would know that is definitely not the case. But I'm gonna give you all the benefit of the doubt there. But yeah, law was never real. That is why the powers that be are constantly ignoring it. Yeah. So, what do I mean by law is not real? Well, law is basically whatever the ruling power or the powers that be or the status quo, it's whatever they believe at any current moment in time. The law is not some objective, like logical system of beliefs or system of like facts and logic. It is honest to God, like whatever the ruling council at the moment wants it to be. You need an understanding of history to decipher what I mean by law isn't real, because if you go back in America's past, you will find the fact that there have been laws against entire denominations of people. Ones that come to mind to me are the Jim Crow laws, laws against things that actively make people's lives better. There have been laws against a whole bunch of things. Nothing more than a political stick to hit dissidents and their enemies. Honestly. Like, we're seeing in real time that law is failing, and that is due most in part because it is not some like logical, objective thing. It is and always has been just whatever the people at top want it to be. There is no particular reason, there is no particular rhyme or reason for anything to happen. And that is why the second half of this video title, that lawyers are not arbiters, is because honestly, lawyers are just like money hungry people that that don't do anything to protect people in any real like meaningful way. If you don't know what I mean, I would recommend you meet a lawyer. Like at all, I would recommend listening to a lawyer talk for more than a few seconds, and you'll figure out what I mean quite quickly because they are incredibly, what's the right word? They they they're always stuck on their high horse, basically. Lawyers are not really meant to push the bounds of what is right or what is true. They're mostly there to maintain and to decipher the status quo. Because laws are not like some simple denomination. They're like spiders' webs. They're highly connected. They're all over the place, and they're not made in Like one day, laws are constantly being built on and changed and shifted, and yeah, lawyers are not to protect the people, but rather to uncover whatever that web is. Okay. The only reason we need lawyers to quote unquote understand or decipher law is because, like, as I've already stated, law is only what the status quo wants at any given time. It is what the powers that be want at any given time or find acceptable to lose, right? But the thing about that is that the status quo changes, and so with that change, more and more wants gets layered on top of each other as generations pass, as wants change, as needs change. And so was at first very simple becomes more and more complicated as more and more people add their wants and desires into the ever growing web. And it is highly complicated and highly labyrinthine. Law right now is just a web of nonsense, and lawyers are only there in order to pick and choose basically what desires are currently needed, what precedents are currently needed at any given time. Lawyers are more akin to paid actors. They are given a part to play and are only focused on playing that part to the best of their ability. They are given an outcome to look for, to shoot for, and are given money and funds in order to receive and or get to that outcome. There really isn't a lot of like the justice seeker that a lot of lawyer propaganda has made them out to be. They are almost entirely neutral and have no actual morals of their own. They are just getting paid to deliver an outcome, and that is pretty much it. This video is quite hard to make because it's honestly just a cautionary tale about trusting in the laws made by these people. You know, everybody is talking about the Supreme Court or whatever, but I think the one thing that the president has done particularly well, which is a crazy thing to say, honestly, but the one thing that he has done well is really show us how useless the Supreme Court actually is. And like, there's a lot of worry and discontent over the mini myriad problems that the Supreme Court has made for the people around them. But like I said, as the president has made abundantly clear in the past 6 months, the courts don't really mean anything. They're just kind of there. A lot of people, like, mistakenly put a lot of faith and belief, those mean the same thing, but whatever, put a lot of faith in the Supreme Court's ability to govern. And I think now that the underlying systems of law are deteriorating and law is being used more like a bludgeon than a source of protection, a lot of people are going to hopefully wake up from the idea that the Supreme Court is anyway useful in its current form. But, I don't think that's going to happen right away because a lot of people right now will do literally anything the Supreme Court tells them to do, which is crazy. I mean, my thing is, if the president doesn't listen to the Supreme Court, why should you? A lot of Supreme Court decisions nowadays are cartoonishly evil, and the idea of listening to their procedures is honestly, in this day and age, quite odd. They are not offering anything to the American people and are now just used as a political tool to let uh, are used as a political tool sometimes, and then at other times they are completely ignored and whose opinion doesn't matter to the powers that be. So, yeah, a short video, but there's a lot of things where it's a short video, but law is constantly breaking down. Lawyers are the worst. So basically, TLDR, law is breaking down at a very quick pace because it was never built or never made to last. It was made to be a political tool rather than a protection of the people. And number two is lawyers are just after your money and are not arbiters of justice or whatever they go on the internet trying to tell you. They are a business. They want money in their pockets and pretty much nothing else. An example I have is from TikTok because a lawyer, I think an actual lawyer, not just a TikTok lawyer, but an actual lawyer, was talking about how, as a private citizen, quote unquote, he was scared about he was scared about the deterioration of law. But as an attorney, he was excited because of how much money he could make. And if that doesn't tell you how lawyers are feeling about this breaking down of the justice system, I don't know what else can. Okay, that's gonna be me. Okay, that's gonna be it with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.